Okay. So I'm so excited to see you guys all here. This is actually a really good turnout. Anyways, I miss seeing all your faces. Sometimes on our bigger calls, we don't get to see like so many of like our intimate team. So this is awesome. So the first 10 minutes here, I'm just going to talk. I'm going to be giving some advice on reaching out for parties, and also different ways to do parties for those of you who need some fresh ideas, or maybe you have questions. And then the next 5 minutes, I'm going to leave it open to you guys. If you have tips, advice, things that's worked for you, or you want advice, this is your chance to turn your mic on and talk, or you can always put it in the chat button during any time, and we can go back and look at it. And then the last 15 minutes, we're actually going to do kind of like a power 15. So we're going to, after we're learning these things, we're going to now take some action and do some of these things, because we know that just listening and not taking action doesn't really get us many places. So, okay. So if you're like me, you have been seeing a lot of people saying, I can't get a party. It's really hard. I'm getting a lot of no's, things like that. So I'm just going to go over some ways that I have approached people asking, and also, like I said, new fresh ideas for when we need to get creative. So where I start when I ask for parties is I always go first to my order history in the back office. Now, say you're brand new, you don't have a lot of orders, or maybe you are just kind of starting up again, you've taken a couple months off, and you haven't had orders for a couple months. That's okay. Still go back into your back office, look at that order history, and see who you have not followed up with. My biggest thing is that follow-ups are key for this company. So if I have somebody that orders, like say they order today, I will always follow up with them at least like a week and a half later when they get their stuff and I know they've tried it on. If I'm not following up in that timely manner, I know, first of all, I'm going to lose respect of that customer because I'm not seeing how they like their product. And second, I'm going to lose out on opportunity to potentially get a party, because we all know that is the biggest way to book parties. So start in your order history. Like I said, if you have to go back 4 months, go back 4 months. I do that yearly. Honestly, I go back and I look, who have I not reached out to? Who didn't do a party out of these people? And just start there. Now we all get different answers, right? So there's those people who ghost you when you reach out to them. Okay. When somebody does that to me, first of all, don't take it personally. It's very hard not to take it personally, but we all know that we don't always respond to people, right? So sometimes people just forget, they don't see it, they move on. And so what I like to do is, say I reach out to somebody and it was like, hey, how do you like their stuff? And they say, I love it. Then I respond with, awesome. I would love to get you free Zaya. Would you be interested in throwing a party? And say they don't respond after that point. So now typically I wait like a week or two. I go back to that person, and you might have to write it down so you don't forget, but I go back to that person and I say, hey, Caitlin, I know you've been busy. Just wanted to follow up with you. I have 2 spots available left in May or June or whatever to get you a party, to get you some free Zaya. What do you say? And so just follow up with those people who ghost you, because you just never know. I've had so many people where they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot to respond. And so then it's our job to, reach back out to them. So now say you ask somebody to host a party and they say no. I think the biggest thing that people say is, no, I don't have time. So then what I would do is I would say, okay, I understand you're busy right now. Could I reach out to you in a couple months, in the month of, and I'll say like June or July. So that way they know I will be reaching out to them in June or July. And a lot of times people say, yeah, that'd be awesome. So then I write them down. Like I have on my phone in my notes. I write them down, reach out to so-and-so in July. Like I have a whole like notes in my phone. So they know I'm reaching out to them when July comes or end of June comes. I say, hey, getting my parties booked for July. You're on my list to contact about a party. What'd you say? Love to get you some free Zaya. So when you're approaching people,
Thank you.
I think the biggest thing is you want to approach them with confidence. So if you're approaching people about hosting a party, if you're approaching them and you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in the product you're selling, and you don't believe that you can help them get rewards, it's going to show in how you're writing it. So if you're confident, if you're making it about them, if you're getting them excited about getting a party, getting free stuff, most likely it's going to go a different way. Now, I'm not saying just because you do that, you're going to get a yes all the time. You won't. We all know that. You could be the most excited person in the world and still get a no. But there is a difference when you approach it that way. So now say you reached out to somebody, they said no to a party. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, that means not yet. So then we ask them, can I get a hold of you in 2 months? Okay. Then you can also follow up and say, I would also love to have you in my Facebook VIP group if they are not already in there. And you can just kind of like shortly explain what that group is, like what you have valuable to share to them. You don't have to word vomit, and then get them in your group, because obviously we always want more people coming into our VIP group. So that is a little bit on how to approach and ask. If you have any questions, like if you've had a scenario that you don't know what to do with, put it in the chat. We'd love to help you guys out with that. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about some Facebook party ideas. Okay, so we can start out first with the standard Facebook party that we all have done. There's so many different ways to do Facebook parties. I have recently been going to doing a whole week of a party versus like a weekend, because Facebook algorithm is a little bit weird right now. So people are seeing things a lot later. And so I spread mine out for a whole week with a weekend at the end, just because I know people aren't seeing things as fast as I normally would, and that's okay. And say you have like 5 parties in the month, I just do one multi-host party during that week, and then that's what I do. Last summer I had to switch some things up, because like, you always have to get creative, because like, you know, you just do. You always have to evolve. So last summer I did like a live Facebook event. So I just picked like one, like a Friday night or a Saturday night, and I did a 30-minute live. The host invited all her friends to that event on Facebook. I was on live for 30 minutes, did a giveaway during the live, and that was pretty much it. And then all I had to do was like follow-ups. So I didn't really have to do posting or anything. So just some creative ideas. All right. You can do Instagram parties. There was a training on that Kelly just did. It's in the Team Together in Zaya group. I think it was last Monday. On our call, she did the training. Now, say you're not like super involved in Instagram, that's okay. You don't have to be like an Instagram guru posting every day to do an Instagram party. If you just have one person that has more connections on Instagram that you meet and talk to, just set up a private Zaya Instagram account, and then follow Kelly's training. And it is pretty simple. And then just throw them that. So sometimes we have to switch gears a little bit. Like most of us are stuck in Facebook, right? Sometimes we have to switch gears and learn something new to get more people, network, get more sales, you know? So sometimes we just have to step out and get uncomfortable. The other thing is in-person parties. If you have not had an in-person party yet, do it. Like, don't worry about too much about what your house looks like, what you look like, you know, whether your kids are running around. Just have one. They're so effective. Just, you know, if you're somebody who drinks wine, or your host, get a couple bottles of wine and some cheese, have people over, maybe invite people from your like field of work, and just have them over and have them feel your Zaya, have a shopping link open. It does not have to be formal. Like in-home parties should be super informal, chill, have some stuff out that people can feel, talk about the product a little bit, and just have a good time. Maybe you are near a gym. Maybe you can host a pop-up at a gym. Maybe you have like a club near you that you can host a pop-up at. Maybe you're like a teacher or something and you get together with teacher friends and, sell the heck out of everywhere pants, something like that. But sometimes we just have to get creative. So if you're feeling like you're in a rut where you have asked like everybody in your order history to do a Facebook party, it's time to get uncomfortable and think outside of the box and figure out other ways where you can do events, because there's so many ways. And like I said, it's kind of uncomfortable, but it is pretty simple. If you think about it, it's simple, but it's still uncomfortable. And we just have to get ourselves out of that to do that. If you're thinking about people who to reach out to, I kind of skipped this part in the beginning, but like I said, your order history, I always go through all my Facebook VIP members. And if I haven't done a party for people or they haven't like responded to me, I'll just go back and remessage them. Friends and family, we all have probably 5 people that we're scared to death to ask to do a party for, right? Like it is not just everybody does. Like there are certain people in our lives where we're so afraid that they're going to judge us that we have not asked them to do a party yet. So write those people down. And I challenge you, and myself included, to at least contact one of those people this week and see if they would be willing. And because they know us well, we can approach it differently. If they'd be willing to help us expand our business and host some sort of pop-up for them, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, in-home, whatever it is. If they'd be willing to help us out, expand our business. That's how you could approach it. So we're going to leave. Okay, we're going to start our 5 minutes now. Maybe we'll do like 2 minutes. So that way we'll have some time to work here. Talk too long, sorry. So if anybody has any questions, tips, advice, now is your time to unmute yourself and share them. Is there anything in the chat? Because for some reason I can't see it.
I'm answering questions in the chat.
Okay, I don't know why I can't see it.
You pull it up and you push chat. Does it come up?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I see now.
This isn't my idea. This was an idea from our larger group that we did 2 months ago. We sent out Facebook messages to, like, you looked at your birthdays, like go on Facebook, look at all your friends who are having birthdays coming up. And right off the bat, I got 3 people just off of that. And I only sent out like very minimal amounts. I mean, it wasn't like there was a ton of people that I knew had a birthday, but out of all the people that I sent to, and 3 of them were willing to do it, and it went really, really well. And so that was actually a really great idea. Because like how they had it, like really simple, like set it up like, hey, I see your birthday's on such and such date. You know, I'd love to throw you a birthday bash, help you get some really amazing Zaya items for your birthday. What better way to celebrate, you know, kind of that attitude. And it was perfect. I mean, a couple of people who've been kind of lurking in the sides of, you know, Zaya ended up being like, yeah, maybe this is the perfect time to just jump right in and do something for myself, you know, because who doesn't want something for themselves for their birthday? So
Right. Oh, thanks, Kate. That's a brilliant idea. And you can find the birthdays, like, oh, I forget where to find it on Facebook. I'll have to post maybe in our group later about it. But you can see all the birthdays. Okay, our timer went off. So until 8:30, a little less than 15 minutes, but that's okay. We are going to now just focus on those reach outs to kind of like what we just talked about, go through, see who you have to follow up with again, who you haven't followed up with, who you can reach out, who you're scared to reach out to, and try to get some parties on your calendar. And, April's not over. You can still, like, my only 2 parties are the end of this month. So April's not over, but definitely looked forward to other months as well. So we're going to take some time, do some work. And if you have any questions during this, feel free to chat or pop on if you need help. Okay, we have about like a minute and a half here before we close out. Anybody would like to share anything in our last minute? So I guess I'll just finish out saying, when you get a no response, recognize how that makes you feel. And if you're taking it really personally, try to switch your mindset to not yet, or it's not a personal attack, because I feel like I've had to do that so many times. And then just keep coming up with more creative ideas. So it's a no is not yet, and it has nothing to do with you. And this project is good and we can sell it. So a lot of times our mindset has to be right to go on further. Okay, well, anybody doesn't have anything else to say or any questions?
I want to say something that you and Caitlin always tell us, along that too, is consistency is the key. I mean, you can repeat it a bajillion times over and it still rings true. I see that in my business, like when I'm less consistent, I see less activity. And the more consistent I am and the more, consistent in trying to, switch things up and change things up. Like just this recently, I did a family feud. It's totally going off. It's a huge hit with my group. It's just that consistency, showing up, trying something new, even if it failed this time, try something else, try it again later. It doesn't mean it's not going to work.
100%. Thanks, Kate. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and sometimes we do just have to try new things. Like if we feel stuck, we just have to, okay, but we got to get our wheels turning, thinking about what else we could do. Okay, well, we are done. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. If you want to keep working, keep working. But I appreciate all of you, and I was just so excited to see all your faces and some pictures.
Me too. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in person or like in a group for a while.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, have a great night. Bye, Finley.
Bye.